said to you that Tuesday night at 6:28 p.m. there is going to be a space rock going about 201,000 miles from our planet, and you say, well, that's a long way. Well, not really in space terms. It's in between the Earth and the Moon, and that's going to give scientists a chance to study this asteroid. The thing of it is, it's about the size of an aircraft carrier, as I understand. There is no chance it will collide with either the Earth or the Moon, but if it did, what a mess it would cause, to be sure. But anyway, we're okay for now. And they said it could come around again, though, and then it could be problems. But it's something like 200 million years from now or something like that. And I don't know about you, but I probably won't be around at the time. Guy who has been studying space because what he does is create documentaries. 17-time Emmy Award winner at Michigan State University here. He's the Big Ten Network Coordinator Contact, too, and teaches at Michigan State. He's been in Miami, Columbus, Memphis, Hagerstown, Maryland, and covered everything from the MTV Video Music Awards to the NFL. Troy Hale is with us right now. Nice to see you this morning.
Nice to see you.
Your
Sounds
latest...
like I've done a lot of stuff when you say it like that.
For a young guy like that. Jeez, there must be three of you.
Yes.
Where are the
Sometimes
other
there
two?
are. Yeah.
This documentary that you've been working on, I'm fascinated to hear. Nikki Hale, the world correspondent, your wife told me about it. It's called Goodwill Moon Rocks?
Yes.
With a question mark on the end.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, we from the Apollo 11 mission and the Apollo 17 mission, there were some of the moon rocks were handed out to states and nations around the world as kind of a symbolic gesture. As this wasn't the U.S. that went to the moon; this was mankind that went to the moon. So we want to share it with the world.
Have a rock.
Have a rock. Yeah, pretty much.
It's not like in the Charlie Brown cartoon where he kept looking in the Halloween bag and said, "I got a rock."
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, this is a good rock.
I guess so. Very valuable.
Very valuable.
Are there lots of rocks out there?
There are.
Oh.
There are 270 moon rocks given out to the nations of the world and states. Each nation and state got 2 rocks, one from Apollo 11, one from Apollo 17. And out of those 270 moon rocks that were given out, 180 of them are missing or unaccounted for right now.
Wow, I guess they were really valued, huh?
Yes.
They're in a sock drawer somewhere.
Well, I think over the years they became missing. They're on a plaque. And the plaque is very 1970s looking, and they were given to museums and to the governors of the states, and I think they're just kind of dated in their look. So the museums have pulled them out of circulation and put them in a storage room. So some of these that are missing aren't necessarily completely missing. They're just they may just be stored somewhere, and they're people don't know where they are.
Isn't that a little surprising? It's sort of like, what have you done for me lately? Oh yeah, that was exciting at the time, but what's
it's
next?
just a moon rock. Let's stick it in the closet.
They must be very valuable, no?
A really small pebble, which is what these are.
Oh,
about.
It's not like a paperweight size.
No. They took one moon rock and they split it up into little sections and gave that out. And a little pebble is worth something like $2 to $5 million.
Wow.
In the black market. Because they can't be sold.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because not that long ago in the Associated Press, Amanda Wall brought this story to my attention. There was a woman who was trying to sell moon dust, and she was doing it on the internet. And apparently you're not allowed to just own these rocks or these dust. So she set up a meeting at a Denny's, of all places, to sell it. And then came the vans, and the feds all came in there and scared the living hell out of her. She was trying to, and she was so scared that it was just an ugly scene, let's put it that. It was clean up in aisle 2.
Yes.
Because she had not expected the federal government to come swooping in like that. So they do try to keep track of these things, then.
Yeah, they had a hard time keeping track of a lot of these. But, when stories come up, and that story came up because she actually contacted NASA saying, I want to sell this moon rock, piece of moon dust, whatever. So, in a way, she brought it upon herself.
Yeah. She got it from her husband who worked at NASA or something like that.
Yeah, that was, and she also had a piece of heat shield or something from one of the spacecraft.
Did you get to Neil Armstrong in your efforts? Because I hear he's very reticent to talk to anybody.
I have not.
Yeah,
I have
he
not.
doesn't talk, does he?
I am looking at trying to talk to a couple astronauts.
When will the documentary come out?
Probably in about a year or so. We went down to Houston and we shot down there for a while.
Yeah.
NBC was down there. I'm talking to a guy named Joseph Goodhines, and he is the former senior NASA special agent, and he's the one that's been trying to find all these moon rocks.
What possessed you to do a documentary on moon rocks?
Well, I was watching the Tom Hanks miniseries From the Earth to the Moon,
Yeah.
and they got to this part about this Genesis rock. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. Let me look that up. So I started looking that up, and I found an article on it, and I was looking down at the bottom, and then all of a sudden, at the bottom, it said missing moon rocks. I said, missing moon rocks? What is this about? So I started looking into that and finding out that there was a lot of missing moon rocks. Some stolen over the years, some, some missing like this one. And then I decided to contact Joseph Goodhines and just send him an email. And I've got a list of documentary ideas, and this went to the bottom of my list. And I emailed him saying, hey, you ever think about doing a documentary about this? He emailed me 4 hours later saying, yeah. And all of a sudden I was working on a documentary about it.
Isn't it an interesting life when you can come up with an idea and say, yeah, I'm going to investigate that? You get to live that life a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in space. So, when they started talking about this, I'm watching the Tom Hanks miniseries. And I was like, well, that's great. I get to do it. I get to do my own project about it now.
Will you, when this comes out, where will we be able to see it?
We're still working on that right now. I've been talking to PBS. I'm also hoping...
Million places for something
like
this.
Yeah, I'm hoping to, I've got a pitch video together now. We're going to send it to things like the Discovery Channel, and I'm hoping to send it to Tom Hanks and his people, because Tom Hanks is a huge space fan, and hopefully he'd like to get involved in the project.
Do you think that this will help find some of the missing moon rocks, the fact that you're paying attention to it?
Well, I think so, especially the work that Joe's doing with his students. He's teaching now, and his students have been finding a lot of the moon rocks. And a couple weeks ago, they found the Arkansas moon rock in Bill Clinton's gubernatorial papers.
Oh, really?
So they're finding them slowly, and the more and more this gets out there. When I was down in Houston, NBC
he turned it into a ring for Paula Jones. How about a moon rock ring?
So the more and more of these stories come out, NBC was down there while I was down there. So the more and more these stories come out, the more and more people are going, oh, I saw that over here.
Is it lucrative to make a documentary like this, or can it be?
No.
It's a labor of love, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the time it is.
Or it yields turn up another Emmy Award, though, at least.
Absolutely. And Michigan State University is helping me out with funding for this, and my Department of Telecommunications. So there's a lot of... working at MSU allows me to do projects that I want to do, which is really nice.
That's the best. You're like the Woody Allen of Michigan State.
I wouldn't go that far.
They just say, go do your thing because you know how to do it best.
Yeah.
That's the best you can hope for, isn't it?
No, that's great. There's a lot of freedom to that.
Have you held a moon rock in your hand yet?
I have not. We did, when we were in Houston, we did get into the room right next to the clean room, and we were able to look in and see the people working on all the moon rocks, so that was a lot of fun.
What are they doing when they're working on it?
They're still studying them. I mean, there's still a lot of scientific, information they're trying to gather from, pieces of another world.
It's hard to imagine. By the way, do they taste at all like green cheese?
I didn't try them.
Okay. But to see that moon, I mean, it looks like you could reach out and touch it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
especially on the horizon.
Now that I've been doing this documentary, I look up at the sky at night all the time, and just, thinking about people who are up there. Yeah. That's incredible.
Maybe in our lifetime there'll be a, tourism opportunity to go to the moon or something like that.
That'd be great. Sign me up.
Yeah, well, sign us up when it comes out. Where today are the Apollo 17 Goodwill moon rocks? Troy Hale will let us know. Thanks for being here this morning.
No problem.
Appreciate it very much. A star in his own right, Bob Precise, will join us on his first day of work at LEAP coming up shortly. It's Michael Patrick Shields, Michigan's Morning Show.
Houston, we have a problem.
I like a rock.
Rocket Man.